Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Ernest Lunning with Colorado Politics, here with State Representative Manny Rutinel, a Democrat running in Colorado's 8th Congressional District for the chance to face first-term Republican Gabe Evans next November. He'll be answering questions prepared by AARP Colorado. We're asking the same questions to Representative Evans and the other Democrats who are running for this toss-up seat. Representative, please take a minute to tell us about yourself and why you're running.
Thank you, Ernest, for having me here. Thank you to the AARP folks. I really appreciate the work that they've done and then continue to do for our seniors. My name is Manny Rutinel. I'm a state representative in Colorado, and I have been fighting for affordability for working families my entire life, especially in the legislature. And I plan to take that work over to Congress, where my priorities will be to lower costs, whether that's housing and healthcare. And by the way, this is a personal fight for me. I grew up working class with a single mom. I saw firsthand the struggles that working families were experiencing. And so this isn't something that I'm talking about by reading a white paper. I lived it myself. So I want to be able to lower costs, and I also want to be able to protect Social Security and Medicare, because Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies have decided to gut our Social Security and Medicare, often in backdoor cuts. And so whether anyone decides, from whatever party, it doesn't matter. If anyone decides to take a penny away from Social Security, I will fight back and I will stop that with everything in my power. So I'm running for Congress to fight for working families and protect Social Security and Medicare.
New data shows there's more than 1 million family caregivers in Colorado. What kind of policies or legislation would you champion at the federal level to ease caregiver burdens?
Yeah, right now, childcare is unbelievably expensive, and folks aren't able to make ends meet. They're worried about putting food on the table, over a roof over their child's head, and they can't find ways to affordably care for their child. And I think that we need to find innovative ways to make sure that we expand the scope of the child caring population. And by that, I mean perhaps finding ways to expand the earned income tax credit to seniors so that they're able to work in those contexts, bring all the skills and experience that they've had throughout their entire lives to care for children and be able to lower their tax burden in the process.
Well, thanks. Older Coloradans are not immune to the housing affordability crisis. What policy solutions will you seek to help Coloradans age 50 and older find and keep affordable housing?
The affordability crisis is hitting Colorado extremely hard, and housing is perhaps the top priority for folks. And I felt this myself personally. When I was a young teen, my mom had to file for bankruptcy, and we lost our home during the Great Recession. And I know the anguish that comes from not being able to know whether you're going to have a roof over your child's head. And so I think what we need to do is focus on housing affordability, and that's something that I've done at the state legislature as a state representative. I've passed and helped sponsored and introduced dozens of bills in the legislature to make sure that we're addressing the housing crisis, to make sure that we're streamlining the process so that builders are able to make that affordable housing stock, to provide loans and grants to first-time homeowners. That was one of my bills in the last legislative session. We need to continue to expand those efforts so that our seniors are able to live in the homes that they love, and if they ever want to downsize, to be able to have that affordable housing option when they decide to do that.
Well, thanks. As the number of Coloradans over the age of 50 increases, what can be done to help them age in place and remain in their communities?
Yeah, well, right now, seniors are facing the affordability crisis in their housing stock. And I think what we need to do is make sure that they have an option to stay in their homes. And that means making sure that they have lower tax burdens if they decide to work. And that's why I'm introducing at the state legislature the expansion to the earned income tax credit so that it includes our senior citizens who are right now barely able to make ends meet with their Social Security checks, which, by the way, Donald Trump and Gabe Evans and their billionaire buddies are finding ways to do all sorts of backdoor cuts for. And so what we need to do is make sure that people aren't being displaced by the increase in housing prices. And that means making sure we have affordable housing stock, building wherever possible that affordable housing stock, and providing tax credits and grants and loans to seniors and low-income working families who need those resources.
What do you see as the biggest public health challenge facing the state, and how do you address it?
For me, it comes down to costs. Right now, Donald Trump, Gabe Evans, and their billionaire buddies have decided that they want to gut Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. And as a result, the health insurance prices for millions of Coloradans are going to go up dramatically, some as much as 200%. That is unacceptable at a time when folks are barely able to make ends meet. And so we need leaders in Congress who are able to stand up to Trump's horrific economic policies and his attempts to gut important programs like Medicaid and Social Security and Medicare.
Well, thanks. From a legislative perspective, what can be done to improve Colorado as a great place for fitness, health, and well-being for Coloradans of all ages?
Yeah. Well, I think that health and fitness are an extremely important part of a happy lifestyle. Folks might have seen me on social media doing all sorts of pull-ups in response to some of the things that are happening at the national level, and they've resonated with the energy and the work ethic that I'm able to bring in all facets of my life. And I think we need to create opportunities for folks to be able to eat the foods that they want that nourish them, and also exercise and engage in their communities. Right now, we are in the midst of a lot of loneliness. A lot of folks are feeling that loneliness epidemic hitting them. And I think we need to make sure to create opportunities for communities to come together and experience the joy of each other and physical, healthy experiences together.
Thanks. As far as financial consumer issues, Congress is tackling major consumer safety issues as technology rapidly evolves, including putting guardrails on when businesses and governments use AI to make major decisions that impact people. What's your philosophy on balancing consumer rights and technological innovation?
Yeah. In the Colorado legislature, as a state representative, I introduced in the House the most comprehensive legislation for artificial intelligence to protect consumers, to protect workers, so that whenever they're signing up for a service, their information and data isn't inappropriately used against them. And I think what we need to do is make sure that our privacy rights are protected, that consumers are able to buy the products that they want and need without feeling like there's someone on the other side using AI to jack up prices against them. These are the sort of issues that we are facing right now, and we will continue to face. And I think we need fresh perspectives and a good work ethic in our Congress to make sure that we are addressing these issues that are going to affect the next generation of people.
Groups like AARP consistently hear from members that rising utility costs pose affordability challenges for Coloradans on a fixed income. In Congress, how would you ensure affordable utilities for older Coloradans?
Yeah, everywhere I go, I hear about the rise of utility costs, grocery costs, housing, healthcare. And on the utilities front, there was recently a renewable energy tax credit that Colorado was going to be able to benefit from, that because of Gabe Evans's actions, we will no longer be able to benefit from that, and our utility costs will rise as a result. I plan to reverse all of the harmful actions that Gabe Evans and Donald Trump have been jamming through our Congress, and make sure that we are encouraging the appropriate energy production that will allow costs to come down.
Colorado established a prescription drug affordability review board to research and review the costs of prescription medications. Do you support this idea, and what steps can Congress take to ensure medications are more affordable for Coloradans?
Totally. I absolutely support it. I think that Colorado has led the way on creating affordable prescription prices through the sort of boards that you just mentioned. I think the federal Congress has done a good job in prior administrations capping insulin costs at $35. I think we can do the same for so many other essential medications so that folks don't have to decide between important medications and being able to survive a bankruptcy. I think what we need to do is make sure that we're leveraging our government to negotiate prescription prices in the ways that you just mentioned that Colorado does, so that we bring down the cost of so many of the essential prescription drugs that Coloradans need.
Thank you. Please check out our interviews with the other 8th Congressional District candidates and candidates for governor on coloradopolitics.com and at AARP Colorado. Thanks for watching.